Super Media Runners!
Welcome to Super Media Runners, where we run the media to you. With 2023 officially at an end, it's time we wipe our sacred timeline and start again with the sludge and drudgery of Hollywood, while also overlooking the real gems that we all end up watching on streaming the following year anyway. Here's our official tier list of all 2023 movies we watched in chronological order. Remember, our opinion sucks, and we'd love to hear yours in the comments below. Kicking off with M3gan, or Megan, I forgot this came out this year. This bite-sized horror sci-fi movie feels like a Black Mirror episode with zero subtlety or nuance. However, the personal story and chemistry between the main characters serve as an interesting exploration of how we solve most of our problems in relationships using a phone or iPad. Overall, I'd rank it as a C-tier movie that you'd probably end up watching on streaming when there's nothing else going on. Quantumanium is the beginning of the cracks that Marvel has been ignoring when it comes to consistently changing characters, making entertaining stories, and delivering an exciting thrill ride. After watching the first two Ant-Man movies before seeing this in a half-empty IMAX, I could feel the pandering, the nonsense, and the rushed ending pulling me out of the excitement of what I thought could have been a fun return to form. What a shame, D tier. Operation Fortune is Guy Ritchie's most boring, by-the-numbers Guy Ritchie movie. The Gentleman just felt like an exercise of great performances and execution, but this feels like an afterthought. A few action set pieces, a few one-off lines, a few chuckles, and nothing else. E tier. Shazam! Fury of the Gods is not bad, but when you watch the first Shazam and get those Sam Raimi-inspired superhero motifs, you kind of expect the same direction. Zachary Levi should be a more mature Billy, because damn does he suck at pretending to be a teenager. This went for the bigger scope, but it only got better towards the end, only for death to feel so pointless. C tier. Dungeons & Dragons Honor Among Thieves is such a refreshing romp that uses its IP to the fullest extent without sacrificing great characters, fun story beats, practical effects, and just keeping you smile throughout. I don't expect the same strategy if a sequel or any continuation of this world happens, but damn did I love this. S tier. The Super Mario Bros. Movie did what Angry Bird couldn't do and actually belonged to something we care about. Unfortunately, it did the same thing that the first Sonic movie did, which is not take risks to develop a fresh take in the film medium in exchange for oversimplifying character motivations while also teasing us to what could be planned for the rest of the franchise. It goes by so quick that you kind of forget how bland everything feels, and we could have had so much more if they actually took their damn time with something like this. Can't wait to hear the "it's a kids movie" arguments, so C tier. Guardians of the Galaxy, Volume 3, is the swan song of an unexpected adventure. Everything just felt right, and I think the world that James Gunn created with these characters feels completely removed from what the MCU has been faltering with these past 2 years. When we all finally decide that spectacle and story can coexist as one, then we can finally understand and correct future Marvel films. S tier for sure. Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse makes Super Mario Bros. Looks like it's actively shitting on Nintendo's face with its predictable and safe animation. This is a love letter to all things Spider-Man that is maturely and strategically paving the road for Miles and Gwen's relationship, while also juggling new and old characters in a way that makes sense. Pay your animators well, and it'll be hard to really look back at this movie once Part 2 releases, and I think that's my only fault, is that this is a Part 1 movie that feels incomplete. A tier. The Flash is trying to adapt one of the better Flash stories under the smallest possible budget. Half the script is trying to explain its own time/multiverse logic. Keaton was cool, but what more do you expect anyone to remember? Also, imagine creating a live-action Justice League cartoon for the first 10 minutes, only to deliver the rest of the story that has half the heart. Point and laugh at this E-tier movie. TMNT Mutant Mayhem changes a huge aspect of Turtle lore that could literally go in any direction. The action, soundtrack, and animation are incredible. The voice performances really bring emotions that you probably didn't expect to feel in a Ninja Turtles movie, and shows a real mature understanding of prejudice that doesn't feel like it's pandering to anybody. A tier. Five Nights at Freddy's should be the blueprint on how to adapt a video game into the big screen by using aspects of the games sparingly while also fleshing out its own story to accommodate real character relationships and conflicts. Then you have a recipe for a great movie, IP or not. S tier. Do better, Mario. The Marvels is a lame time waster, but can we just agree that it's better than the first movie, which was basically a by-the-numbers origin story about a human energy battery with amnesia? This one has 3 energy batteries that try to work together and fight a bad guy that had an interesting premise but just can't do anything exciting with the current Marvel content machine. D tier. The Hunger Games, The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes gives serious Evil Morty theme song vibes. And that's thanks to a great cast and an emphasis on performances over spectacle. I think it fleshes out the world in ways that were absent in the previous films, and I think it does its best to entertain, even if it feels predictable, or if you already know who the hell President Snow is. B tier. Trolls Band Together is the comeback movie of the trilogy, Looking at You World Tour, and goes back to why we even cared about these movies by bringing back themes from the first film and rolling with a simple premise that feels like the perfect conclusion. A tier. Good Burger 2 is so bad, it's fucking weird. This wasn't just trying to capture lightning in a bottle, it was trying to lick a dirty, empty, moldy bottle. You get a few gags and celebrity guest stars followed by some meta humor that adults and children probably wouldn't understand. At least the first movie made sense and had nonsense. Good Burger 2 doesn't make sense and has plenty of nonsense. E tier. And that was our 2023. Even taking a looking back at movies I did and didn't see, this has to be the year of meh movies. But with the Marvel bubble likely bursting, leaving a power vacuum of what will be the next big thing, let's all take a second to remember that, hey, at least we have something to watch if 2024 sucks just as bad. Let us know your thoughts on this year in films in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe to get more Super Media Runners. Have a happy new 2024.